Let's try this one more time. Every time I've released a top 10 spells guide, glue, they nerf them or they buff them, but the list changes. I need some wood to knock on before I start this video. That's not even real wood. That's not going to cut it. This is all I could find, and it's pretty authentic, so... Hello and welcome back to the Cozy Club, my friends. For those of you that don't know, we are now 2 for 2 for each time that I release a top 10 spells video. It just so happens the next day, week, really just those two options, a spell gets nerfed or buffed and the whole list is over. The first time we did a top 10 spells video, the entire spells got reworked. Okay, fair enough. We do another one right after that, following that very quickly. And again, all of them got nerfed, so I was done. I was done doing these top 10s, but we're back. We're here. Welcome to the Cozy Club, my friends. My name is Cozy Gamer. I thought I swore it off for good, but we are here. And today, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be doing the top 10 spells in Sorcerer's Arena, some honorable mentions, and also something new. And that's going to be looking at the level of the spells and which level that you're going to get the best use of that spell. Something I wanted to add to this so that you guys know if they're good out of the gate or you should level them up to max, level 2, level 3, whatever it is shall be. I wanted to let y'all know. Now, the hard thing about doing this top 10 spells video is that the longer DSA is out, it looks like we are going more towards this use a spell with a specific team. Now, that's not all the spells. Some spells are plug and play with any team, but a lot of these spells are going to depend on the team that you're using. So that made it tough to rank these 1 through 10, but these are generally the best spells in DSA with some honorable mentions. And again, I'll know if it's going to be better with a specific squad. And some of these spells didn't make it because they're only good with one squad, or it really doesn't have much use outside of that. So now that we're starting to move from this frozen meta, which they're still very solid, but we're starting to see Oceanic and Tech, we are starting to see longer battles within Disney Sorcerer's Arena. And why this is important is because spells that offer control and healing, or reviving for that matter, are going to be more important. And also, the evades on the field are starting to affect a lot of these spells. And so we're going to be gravitating towards AoE spells because of the amount of hero Hamadas out on the battlefield. It's definitely advantageous to get yourself an AoE spell, as it's going to wipe that evasion. Now, enough talking. We're going to start with number 10, go through 1, and then at the end, we'll do some honorable mentions. Before we start, just want to say a quick thank you. We hit 6,000 subs on this channel. Could not be more excited. And also, if you didn't catch my update video, we got a brand new PC. Thank you so much for all the support that you guys show me. This will bring more and more content to you guys, both on Twitch and on YouTube. You can catch my Twitch description in the link below. Lots of fun to have there. Let's start with number 10, and that is going to be Splash Mountain Soak. Now, in the heyday of global release, Splash Mountain used to be easily one of the best spells in DSA. Definitely got nerfed a little bit, but still a very solid spell. Now, first things first, level 2 is absolutely essential to even have this spell be somewhat useful in battle. Level 4 is going to make it much more useful in battle. Definitely not one of those spells out of the gate that you want to use, but at level 2, very solid. First of all, you're going to have that nice AoE that's going to clear evasion like we talked about. It's going to be hitting all the enemies, so if hero pops up that evasion, it will be clearing that evasion. In addition, at level 4, it's going to decrease the magic of all of the abilities on the primary target. Now, I get a lot of questions about this. What is decreasing magic? Well, what that is it's increasing cooldown. So decreasing magic essentially makes it harder for the enemy to use an ability. So with the main primary target, you're going to be increasing the cooldowns on all of their abilities on the main target. So someone like Elsa, this is super useful. Now, my favorite thing about Splash Mountain is it has a 50% chance to increase all of the harmful effects on the battlefield. So each harmful effect is going to have a chance to go up by 1 duration. Now, why this is so big is if you've been watching my stream, I've been running with an Elsa Maui team, and both of those characters can pop stuns on the battlefield. So getting an AoE stun out there with Maui and following up with a Splash Mountain Soak, you're getting 2 turns, or up to 2 turns stun, and you're stun locking them right out the gate. Absolutely ridiculous. It can increase anything you put out there. If you've got Ana with the AoE offensive down, same story. Very solid spell, coming in at number 10. Coming in hot at number 9 is Wild Imagination. Now, Wild Imagination was the most recent spell to get a significant nerf. It got the nerf hammer, and it's okay. It is still a very solid spell. It's just a little bit more team specific. It's going to inflict heal block on the main opponent, and depending how many Toy Story units you have as well, you have a chance for this to go to adjacent units. In addition, if you're running this with a Toy Story villain squad, this is going to have the chance to put now fear, heal block, and also continuous damage out on the field. Very good spell to run with the Toy Story villains, which I know isn't a very popular team, but it is a significant spell to run with them. Now, level 2 is going to get you really the spell that you're looking for, but level 3, if you're running with the Toy Story villains, is the upgrade that you want to go to. Level 4 doesn't do as much. Looking at it first, it's going to be adding a duration on the heal block, not as important. So level 2 and level 3 are the spell upgrade levels that you want to aim for. Coming in hot at number 8, it's stuck around through all of the tier list. That is Immortal Potion. Now, Immortal Potion is a awesome spell because out of the gate, it is useful. For what you want to use it for, you can just unlock it, plug it into your team, and it's going to do the job that it's supposed to do. So its main purpose is to remove helpful effects on the primary target. Now, this can go and bleed to the adjacent targets if you're running a mythical team. Most of us in the meta right now, there's not mythicals out there, but this is going to remove the helpful effects. And why this is so good right now is you have the chance to clear all that AoE evasion like we just said. So this can clear that pesky taunt, harmful immunity that's on Kristoff all the time, and more recently, it can clear invincibility that is laid by either Genie or Maui. And guys, with the more Mauis that are going to be coming into the battlefield, I think we're going to see more Immortal Potion because it's a great way to counter that pesky taunt, crazy invincibility wall that we're starting to see pop up. Shout out to a little extra bonus. If you're running a continuous damage team, it's going to help Hades throw out a little more continuous damage too, if that is your thing. All right, now coming in at number 7, we've got a new addition, a new spell making its way on the list, and it's a lesser known one, and I want to get it out there. Number 7 is going to be Clock Tower, or as a lot of people call it, Midnight Countdown. What's that? Oh, nobody calls it that except for me. Now let's talk about Clock Tower and exactly why I think it's one of the best spells in the game. Now, first of all, we've got a slower meta out there. These matches are lasting longer. That only made this spell better. Now, it's a decent defense spell. It can be great at some points where you definitely cripple the enemy, and at other times, it's just going to keep reapplying itself. Effectively, that Midnight Countdown needs to count down from 2 to 1, and then they turn into a pumpkin. On defense, it just keeps going to 2, so sometimes not good on defense. However, when it's in your control, you're going to be turning the entire team to polymorph pumpkins that also have defense reduction on them. Now, the other useful thing about this is, like all the other spells, what I've been rolling with is one healing spell, which we'll get to in a second, and the other half is an AoE spell of some sort, so that if I'm not ready or I'm ready to lay down the hurt with one of my own AoE abilities, I can clear the evades from the hero Hamadas that we're seeing. Level 2 and 3 are going to have more of that defense reduction when they are a pumpkin, rather than just having them really kind of be stunned for a turn. But level 4 Cozy Club is really where this spell starts to shine. It has a 50% chance to only have it be one turn before you polymorph the entire team. It's a 50% chance, which I wish we could have tactics on spell. No, that would be broken. Okay. Now, spoiler alert, Thunder Mountain Boom is not on this list. I know I'm going to see in the comments some of you will be saying Thunder Mountain Boom is just as good. Now, the key difference is if there is a hero Hamada, which again, we are basing a lot of this list on these S meta tier teams on the enemy team. The problem is with Thunder Mountain Boom, once you lay it down, you finally wait for it to explode and you get all these advantages, but it can be evaded, whereas this cannot be evaded once it has stuck on the enemy. Now, if they have evade, they will dodge this and you can clear those evades, but once it has stuck, and it will be turning your enemy into a pumpkin. Number 6 is Claw. Now, I know a lot of you thought that Claw would be a lot higher on this list. I've got my reasons why it is at number 6, mainly because the other 5 spells are better than it. But we've talked about this in previous videos. This is such an important spell for the meta that we are currently in. Now, even if you're not playing evasion teams, it's great to use in tower. It's great to use really in any battle to get that extra damage on there. And also, you're going to get increased damage on minions that are spawned in the battle. So that's going to be your Shadow Genies, your Shadow Spins, or just your trolls from the Kristoff, which we all hate, and they're starting to make more of an appearance in my battles. But Claw is a solid spell. You can unlock it out the gate right away, Claw is probably, if not the best spell to unlock and plug right into your lineup, and you're going to get the core use out of it. You guys know it's going to clear that evade and then also do damage to the opponent. And then if one evade was not good enough, it can clear 2 evades. So with these tech teams, you should see some multiple evade teams out there, like core or hero can stack multiple evades. This is a great way to effectively clear evades. Coming in halfway through at number 5 is going to be Peter's Shadow. Now, Peter's Shadow is an absolute unit of a spell. It's going to be good out the gate, just like the spells that we've talked about before. Absolutely great spell that you can pull as soon as you complete Tower 3. By the way, if you haven't, check the top right corner for my Tower 3 guide. It's helped plenty of people get through Tower 3, and hopefully you can get past it and unlock this great spell. What Peter's Shadow is going to do is it's going to make a shadow copy of one of the characters on your team and copy 45 or up to 45% of their statistics. Not only that, it's adding a unit for the enemy to attack on your team that can also do basic attacks. And most importantly, it's going to copy the passive abilities on a lot of these teams. And it's ridiculous what it can do. Now, when you copy someone like Cobra Bubbles, you're going to see flying suitcases and absolutely bonkers damage. If you copy someone like Genie, you get lots and lots of adjacent attacks. Dr. Facilier, you get great heals with it. There's so many characters that work well with this. One of my favorite things I like to recommend is on defense. If you're running with a frozen squad, this is an absolute beast of a spell. Why? Is because any character on the frozen team benefits from a shadow. If you copy Sven, it's going to be calling more Svens the Sven attack when Kristoff attacks. If you copy Kristoff, you get extra taunts, and then you can call Sven more often to attack. Elsa, she's going to be dealing with that glacial armor. Honest, calling assist. Anyone you copy, great spell. There's a little tip for you guys. Set this on defense. Okay, so for number 4, it's a little bit different. Number 4 and number 3 are about the exact same as far as how good they are. It just depends, again, on the team that you're using them with. And number 4, again, no specific order here, but let's start with Golden Hammer. Now, Golden Hammer did receive a pretty big nerf, but I want to hear from you guys. Do you like that these spells are more specific to the faction or the realm that they belong in? I personally, I kind of like it. I don't like that we're losing these spells, but I do like the fact that we can use these with specific teams in mind and get an advantage if we invest on a certain squad. Now, Golden Hammer's excellent. It's going to heal your characters if no one has died. If they're a downtown hero with the lowest health, you want to strategically use this so that you put undefeatable on them, you get a speed meter increase, and you heal them. However, if any of your characters die, this spell is going to bring them back to life. Now, in the Tower of Endurance, it's a great spell to use, but in PvP, when an enemy kills one of your allies, and you can bring them back to the fight, and now that we've got Hero and Bubbles and these other characters that can feed turn meter very quickly to these low health allies, Bubbles being my favorite, as he gives turn meter to the lowest health. It's just a much better spell, and it immediately flips that advantage, if it's a 4v5 or whatever it might be, onto the opponent. Absolutely great spell. If you have downtown heroes, even better spell, as it's going to continually put undefeatable. I know on a tech team, there's no point to even go after hero, as he's just going to revive with that undefeatable. So great, solid spell. Very close and pretty much tied with our number 3 best spell in DSA, and that is going to be Grandmatala. Now, Grandmatala is the newest spell to come to Disney Sorcerer's Arena. I'm so glad we're starting to see new spells come to this game, and it's the best spell to use when you have oceanic characters on your squad. However, it's a very solid spell to have with any characters, as it's going to heal a large amount of health. Now, when maxed out, it's going to heal 30% of the character's health, which 30% on some of these big tanks is absolutely massive. That can climb up to 45% health, half a Papagantu, half a Katsugantu, if he's all the way down. Such a great spell to use with Oceanics. Now, for general use, level 3 is going to be the target you want to aim for this spell. However, if you're using Oceanics, level 4 is where you see that increased huge difference. But out of the gate, this spell is amazing. It's got added benefits in tower, as it's going to heal the person you select and your lowest ally who has the lowest health. And in addition, it's going to give Moana harmful immunity, and it's going to cleanse her. Absolutely amazing spell. Perfect to use with Oceanics, and it's coming in tied at number 3/4 in the game. All right, we've got 2 left, and these are the top 2 spells in DSA. Number 2 is going to be Cauldron. Cauldron is absolutely amazing. It's going to decrease cooldowns on your random teammates, and that doesn't seem like much, but once you get this thing maxed out, it's going to be dropping 3 different magic goops, or whatever you want to call them, on your teammates, and it's going to decrease their cooldowns. Remember, increase magic, decrease their cooldowns. You can have multiple go on the same character, so Dash can use heads up, then the dash. He gets hit with 3 Cauldron blobs, and all of a sudden, he is going to have the dash very quickly. Also, in addition, it's going to give 10% speed turn meter for each magic goop that goes onto your team. I just like saying magic goop at this point. Cauldron is a phenomenal spell. No matter what team you use, it's going to be a phenomenal plug and play spell, and that's what makes it the second best spell in DSA. All right, so you're probably wondering, what is the best spell currently in Disney Sorcerer's Arena? And let me just start with this. If anything's gonna change most likely on this list, it's probably that this spell will be nerfed. This spell is absolutely incredible. I expect it to be nerfed, and if it is nerfed, just move everything else down and then bump them all up and move this to wherever it ends up. But the best spell currently in Disney Sorcerer's Arena is Fairy Slumber. Now, Fairy Slumber is probably the most annoying spell possible to go up against in PvP. You think you have the complete lead, you've got the battle made, but then up to 3 of your allies get put to sleep. Now, not only that, they get put to sleep, but they also get a 40% reduction in speed turn meter. So if that wasn't bad enough, by the time they finally get to their turn, it skips them. They're sleeping. And guys, by then, the battle's usually over, especially in these bigger battles, it's over. Now, with AoE teams, there is some debate if this is a good spell to use or not. I know in a lot of my Oceanic teams, there's so much AoEs getting pumped out there with Gantu and Maui and Moana that I don't typically always use this. Now, this spell will be amazing at level 2 as you do get that speed reduction turn meter. If you just want it for the sleeping mechanism, you can use it before that. It's a great spell no matter what, but level 2 is where it shines, and level 4 is the ridiculousness of making that primary target sleep for 2 turns. Now, it's pretty easy if you don't want to use AoE. It's pretty easy to start building up your team, get your Elsa charging, avoid hitting these 3 characters, and this spell can just be bonkers. It's so helpful and so amazing to use with any team in DSA, and that is why, my friends, it is the best spell in Disney Sorcerer's Arena. You're wiping speed turn meter. Even if they resist, you're taking that speed turn meter down if they resist the sleep. And if you get into the sleep, well, you pretty much have the battle won. Now, let's talk about some honorable mentions. Now, again, a lot of these spells are team specific, so if you do not have them or you want to use these other spells, here are some other amazing spells, starting with Duke Kaboom. Great free-to-play spell, puts vulnerable on the enemies. It's just all around solid. It was the first one out. Foul Play, excellent spell if you're running them with the Aladdin crew. Thunder Mountain Boom can be a very good spell, but you start to see it kind of fade off in the later games, but very solid spell once you get to that level 2. Bucket of Soldiers was the obvious one missing from this. As we have more players go to that late game, Bucket of Soldiers is going to go down the list. However, again, mid-tier, Bucket of Soldiers is one of the best spells when you're in that mid-game area. Absolutely ridiculous. You'll be using more and more basics as your battles are going to go even longer. Now, if you have an onward team, yes, Dad Moves is amazing. It would be placed somewhere in the top 8 of this list. Dad Moves can put silence, offense down, and it helps Ian and Barley. So if you're running with the team of Ian and Barley, absolutely great spell to use. Those are going to be our honorable mention, guys. I want to thank you so much for coming, stopping by, and checking out the top 10 spells in Disney Sorcerer's Arena. Now, I know we've got a lot of videos to do, but do we want this on a monthly or bi-monthly basis? Let me know down in the comments below. I know we've got lots of videos like the tier list and the best teams and the best spells, but this is something I definitely want to get out to you guys. I will update this video as new spells come into the game, nerfs and buffs come from other spells. I will keep this up to date as best as I can. I want to thank you guys so much for stopping in, hanging here at the Cozy Club, and until next time, my friends, stay cozy.